welcome. Thank you for joining us. It's Monday, April 15th. You're watching News 2 on via Channel 4 and 504. I'm April Knight. Topping our stories tonight, Governor Albert Bryan spoke to the League of Women Voters of the Virgin Islands on Saturday. It was the League's 50th annual meeting. The governor spoke about his administration's accomplishments so far and highlighted the importance of transparency in government. News 2's James Gardner has more.
Governor Albert Bryan Jr. spoke to the members of the League of Women Voters of the Virgin Islands Saturday to reiterate his administration's message of transparency and restoring trust in the government. The governor was a guest speaker at the League's 50th annual meeting, which gathered roughly 40 members from across the territory to E Gardens Tea House and Things on St. Thomas. The governor told the members that he wants the public to trust his administration, touting the VI government's newly launched transparency website and other efforts to make government information public.
I want you to be able to trust me. So what have I done to do that? I've made sure that my administration, Tregenza and I have worked together to make sure that we are as transparent as possible. This week we launched the transparency website. You can go on there and you can see how much people make, what the government is spending their money on, what grants are allotted to the government, and how we're spending. It's an effort to make sure it's transparency.vi.gov. It's an effort to make sure that you know what we're doing.
Bryan also pointed out his government's effort to keep discussions of his official St. Thomas residence open to the public, a reference at former Governor Kenneth Mapp's controversial villa rental on St. Thomas that cost taxpayers roughly $14,000 a month.
So when it came to debating whether or not what my rent would be, I did that in open air to make sure that the public had a chance to weigh in. I'm careful with my dollars, and I'm even more careful with your dollars. I'm making sure that we spend the money wisely. We recently took a trip up to Catherineburg, and there's plenty of furniture up there. We're taking our furniture out of Catherineburg and using that in the apartment that we have in St. Thomas. The rugs and everything else, all that stuff was just left there. We have to take care of the resources that we have in the Virgin Islands because we don't have plenty.
The governor also asked about companies like the West Indian Company, who have a history of holding closed-door meetings or refusal to reveal certain information to members of the press.
I believe that every entity that belongs to the government should be of the people, and no entity of the government can have a mission or a goal beyond that of the people of the Virgin Islands. So the entities like WICO and Port Authority and Waste Management, they have to be aligned with the will and demands and the needs of the people of the Virgin Islands. They cannot singly serve boards or demagogues that head them or executive directors. They have to understand that we are in this together and we have a united vision of bringing the Virgin Islands forward.
For News 2, this is James Gardner.
Thank you for that, James. The FEMA-funded STEP program, locally known as Emergency Home Repairs VI, officially ended today. But the VI Housing and Finance Authority, which administered that program, also announced the simultaneous launch of Envision Tomorrow. That's what they're calling the new home repair program funded by Community Development Block Grant money through Housing and Urban Development. The new reconstruction and rehab program will target homes that were too damaged for emergency home repairs VI. It will benefit homeowners whose primary residences were damaged by Hurricanes Irma and Maria, and they would have had to have been in the territory at that time. There will be eligibility requirements, of course, like citizenship and residency, income, and your home has to be an eligible structure. They'll also be using data from the Emergency Home Repairs VI program. If you think you're eligible, call the number on your screen. That's 1-800-239-3387. Again, that number is 1-800-239-3387. Government House recently announced a new program within the Bureau of Corrections, the Inmate Work Program. It's an initiative shared by the Corrections Bureau and the Waste Management Authority that will have inmates assisting in the cleanup of towns and roadsides. Governor Bryan made the announcement on Friday, saying extending this opportunity to corrections inmates will help them as well as the community. St. Croix Administrator Samuel Sanas echoed Governor Bryan's sentiments, describing the program as a quote-unquote a hands-on initiative that offers inmates the opportunity to give back to their community. The inmate work program started today, April 15th, with the first cleanup initiative starting in Christiansted. We'll have more on that in a later newscast. Turning our attention to crime, a St. Thomas man was arrested and charged with domestic violence-related charges. On Thursday, April 11th, around 7 p.m., a woman reported to police that a male acquaintance, Thompson John Alexander, strangled her. The female victim had bruises on her right elbow and red scratch marks on her chest and neck area and a busted lower lip. 2 days later, April 13th, 36-year-old Thompson John Alexander was arrested and police charged him with assault in the second-degree domestic violence and simple assault and battery domestic violence. No bail was set per the domestic violence law. Also on St. Thomas, police need help with identifying an unknown shooter who injured a man. On Sunday, April 14th, around 2 in the morning, Central Dispatch got a call about shots being fired in the area of Banco Popular in Altona between Veterans Drive and Harwood Highway. Police found a man lying close to a bicycle and appeared to be unresponsive. The victim was transported by ambulance to Schneider Hospital, and medical staff told police that the victim was still unresponsive and had sustained a gunshot wound to the head. Call the numbers on your screen if you have any information. That case is presently under investigation by the Criminal Investigation Bureau, and anyone with information regarding this crime is urged to call 911 or Crime Stoppers USVI at 1-800-222-TIPS. Coming up next, highlights from the Literary Festival on St. Croix, plus the winners of the Prince and Princess selection over the weekend when we come back. Welcome back. On Saturday, the St. Thomas community came out in droves to support the second annual Great Mangrove Cleanup. The program, led by Christina Edwards of DPNR's Coastal Zone Management Division, aims to take out as many pounds of trash from the St. Thomas East End Reserve. And there's a lot of marine debris, whether from the hurricanes or just daily trash coming out from land. They're still stuck in there among the mangroves, and we're going to delve more into that in a later newscast, because mangrove forests are one of the most important ecosystems that we have. But here's a little sneak peek of how that event went on Saturday.
We are out in the mangroves of Steer, the St. Thomas East End Reserve, and we are participating in the second annual Great Mangrove Cleanup. So we have volunteers from schools, from community members. We have people out on kayaks behind me. We have a school group out in the mangroves cleaning. And this is a really big yearly effort to get out into the mangroves, which are really important for our ecosystem, but are hard to get to. So they don't get cleaned very often. So this yearly cleanup is really for us to get out there into those hard to reach spots and get out still more hurricane debris, if you can believe it or not. It's also a really fun educational opportunity for kids to learn about the importance of the ecosystem and how they protect us during the storms. The mangroves protect the inland from storm surge, and the mangroves also protect the ocean from chemical runoff coming from the land. So they're really, really important, and we love them, and we want to keep them clean.
We'll have more on that in a later newscast. On St. Croix, the Virgin Islands Literary Festival and Book Fair hosted several authors that have both written books that have been turned into feature films, as well as authors that tell the stories of pirates and buccaneers. The Literary Festival supports literacy, publication, research, culture, heritage within the community. Stephanie Brown has more.
From April 10th through the 13th, the Virgin Islands Literary Festival hosted literary aficionados, readers, musical and visual artists, aspiring filmmakers, photography buffs, as well as new, established, and emerging writers. On Friday, the festival hosted their book Bacchanal at the Caribbean Museum for the Arts. Both local and international writers from all genres of literature shared passages on the inspiration from their literary works.
And as I studied the history of the Caribbean, I found that more and more it comes back to St. Croix and the Leeward Islands, that this was the eye of the storm. For some reason, this is where the biggest cowboys hung out, the cowboys. Henry Morgan lived here for 3 years. Ponce de Leon lived here for 3 years. All these famous people. Mikhail de Ruyter was here for nearly 5 years.
He had been offered a work scholarship at the Pratt Institute in New York. He turned it down and said, I'm going to remain at St. Croix. As did some of the other men in my book, who people said, you have such great talent, you should go off island, but they said, no, I'm staying here.
Who told me about one of our friends who had killed herself. And I was very taken aback, and she said, do you know, Rosina, from our group, from our class, you and I are the only person who had never experienced sexual assault.
The question for you all, the only thing constant is what? Change. Right. But we human beings are creatures of what? Habit. So when our need for comfort, I don't think I did this, when our need for comfort runs into those opportunities for change, there's bound to be some resistance.
Crown is about the beauty that little boys experience when they go to get their hair cut. How when you go into a barbershop, you come out, you feeling like a prince. It is the one place outside of your mother's arms, your dad's arms, or church where black boys are loved unconditionally.
Thank you for that, Stephanie. On Friday, the University of the Virgin Islands hosted the 7th annual 13D competition, an event that brought together aspiring business owners in a Shark Tank-like competition where the winner gets funding to jumpstart his or her business. So the 13D competition format has changed. Now it's done kind of like the show Shark Tank. So teams present to a panel of judges competing for seed money for their businesses, and then on Friday, one student group and 2 individual students made their presentations. Shaquan Henry and Kalila Krall presented their product Annalise. Nina Scott presented her product Supple Body Scrubs, while Kyle Murphy presented his online sports coverage service Mad Hot Media. The judges will now deliberate for a few weeks, and they'll determine a recommended funding level for each team, which will be announced at a gala on April 27th. Here's more from that event.
We had 3 really great teams present today, composed of 4 students. They all made pitches for their projects, and now have to wait a few weeks until the gala event on the 27th to find out to what extent those projects are going to be funded. It was attended by other students and people in the university and a few from the community, and we hope that maybe next year we have a better fixed university that'll hold more people in a room, so we can actually get it back to where it was just a few years ago before Irma in terms of the audience. But great presentations today, great feedback. We had 5 judges participating, and the students will find out what their awards are going to be on April 27th.
We're an investment fund, so we invest in many startups as it is. We came here to be part of this the startup scene here in the Virgin Islands. I saw a lot of the student presentations. I've been coming to this for years now. I'm very impressed by the quality of the presentations, the maturity of the students, and the presentations themselves.
Good luck to all the teams. Well, Young Virgin Islands thespians took to the stage on Friday in the culmination of months' worth of theater rehearsals. Schools across the territory competed at the 14th annual Vento Shakespeare Festival, an event that aims to awaken the love of Shakespeare among young VI students. There was a bit of controversy when St. Croix Educational Complex students found out that their transportation to St. Thomas has not been arranged by the Department of Education, and it was touch and go there for a while, but the community came together, with the restaurant Pizza Pie even offering to pay for the students to get on the ferry and back. But the Department of Education finally came through and funded the trip, and a good thing too, because Complex ended up taking home the top prize for their depiction of Macbeth. Here's more.
And their final performance was Macbeth, Act 5, Scene 3, 5, and 8. And the amazing thing is, they did it dressed as cavemen. So instead of a fierce fight between Macbeth and Macduff using swords, we had Neolithic performers beating each other up with clubs. So we had incredible originality.
At first, I didn't want to participate because this is my first time acting, and I didn't feel like acting was for me. But you know, she kept nudging me and she kept pushing me, and she kept saying things like, you know, this is good exposure for you. Try it and see how things turn out. And I actually tried it. And coming here today, I was a little anxious at first, but actually, you know, bringing home the trophy and actually winning a trophy, that shows me that if I put my mind to things and expose myself to different things in the world, I would actually have the chance to be great at different things.
We had 9 schools with multiple presentations performing. We had elementary, we had middle, and we had upper school. And the students just did a wonderful job.
Congratulations to all the performers. Well, the 2019 St. Thomas Carnival is in full swing. On Sunday, we witnessed the first major competition, the 2019 Prince and Princess selection. That happened on Sunday at the University of the Virgin Islands Sports and Fitness Center. Janae Liebert won Miss Congeniality and Miss Cooperative. Kanae Foy won Miss Photogenic and Best Introduction Speech, but Amaya Marks was crowned Carnival 2019 Petite Princess. She also won for Best Western Doll Wear and Best When I Grow Up Wear, Best Talent and Best Evening Wear, and also Miss Cooperative. On the Prince side of the competition, Jose Severino Jr. won Mr. Congeniality, Mr. Photogenic, Best Introduction and Speech, Best Evening Wear, and Mr. Cooperative. But it was Shakoy Emmanuel who was crowned the Carnival 2019 Prince. Emmanuel also won Best Sportswear and Best When I Grow Up Wear. Here's more.
Because my mother had pain in her knee.
Okay, good. So girl, I love the way you blow my mind. Hold me tight and bring down she from I don't know. She wears some gold. The place like a dojo.
3,230 votes, and that is contender number 2, Shakoy Emmanuel, is your 2019 Prince. Overall points of 1,126, that's 1126, goes to Petite Princess contestant number 2, Amaya Marks.
Congratulations, Shakoy and Amaya, our new Carnival royalty. Coming up next, your News 2 AccuWeather forecast. We'll be right back.
As we take a look at the weather here across the Atlantic, we find a cold front making a move off the east coast of the United States. That cloud showers and some thunderstorms. That'll be sliding east for the next couple of days, and it'll never make it anywhere near the Virgin Islands. Looking at the weather here, there's a ridge of high pressure and a weak trough. Trough is very weak, and coming in on the flow, some patches of low-level moisture. So these patches of moisture will go from partly sunny to occasionally cloudy, and there could be a shower in spots. Seas are a little bit agitated too, so there are some caution flags flying across the islands. Now as we take a look at our forecast for you, for tonight, we'll see a partly cloudy sky, and there will be a few showers around, especially later at night and early in the morning. Temperature tonight drops down to about 76. Forecast for St. John. During the day tomorrow, see a high of 86, sun, some clouds, and there could be a shower in places. And we'll be seeing pretty much the same story here in St. Thomas, high of 86, sunshine, clouds, and a shower in places. And in St. Croix, we'll see a high of 86, just a shower in spots, sunshine, and occasionally some cloudy skies. As we take a look at the marine conditions for you, well, the waves on the Atlantic side running about 3 to 5 feet. Winds are coming in out of the east 10 to 15 knots. And as we take you over to the Caribbean side, it's pretty much the same forecast. Waves running 3 to 5 feet. And you can see the winds easterly, 10 to 15 knots. And as we take a look ahead next couple of days, looks like it's pretty much seasonable weather here. Highs running in the mid-80s, and we'll see partly sunny to occasionally cloudy skies and just a shower in places and rather breezy. Have a great night.
Thank you for that. Coming up next, News 2 Sports with Gary Anthony. Stick around.
I'm Gary Anthony, and this is News 2 Sports. Comeback complete. Tiger Woods is officially on top of the golf world again after winning the 2019 Masters in Augusta, Georgia. Tiger shot a 2-under par 70 for the one-stroke victory, his 5th Masters, the last one being in 2005, and that is the biggest gap between Masters victories in history. It is also Tiger's 15th victory in a major, leaving him only 3 behind legendary golfer Jack Nicklaus's 18 major titles. Tiger took the lead with a 2-putt birdie on the 15th hole. It was the first time he has ever come from behind on the final day to win a major championship. After his historic win and a loving embrace from his son and mother, here's a humbled Tiger Woods.
Just to come back here and then to play as well as I did and did all the things, all the little things well this week, and to do it here. This has meant so much to me and my family, this tournament. To have everyone here, it's something I'll never ever forget.
On to the NBA playoffs, and let's get to Sunday's Game 1 action. In Boston, the Celtics, playing ugly and physical, used a stifling second-half defense to overpower the Indiana Pacers 84-74 to go up 1-0 in the series. In Portland, the Trailblazers got a game-high 30 points from the All-Star guard Damian Lillard in their 104-99 Game 1 victory over the Oklahoma City Thunder. Portland led by as many as 19 points in the first half, and OKC's Russell Westbrook notched his 9th career playoff triple-double in the loss. The Milwaukee Bucks absolutely gored the visiting Detroit Pistons 121-86. The Bucks led by as many as 43 points, with Giannis Antetokounmpo scoring 24 points and grabbing 17 rebounds in only 24 minutes of game action. The Houston Rockets blasted the Utah Jazz in the fourth quarter, 39-19, on their way to a 122-90 Game 1 victory. James Harden led the way with a game-high 29 points to go along with 10 assists. And finally, congratulations to the St. Croix Elementary School's boys and girls basketball teams. The Alfredo Andrews boys team won the USVI Territorial Championship Series 2-1 with a 41-32 victory over Gift Hill School on Saturday afternoon. The Juanita Gardena Elementary School girls swept their best-of-3 series over Antilles School, taking the USVI Territorial Girls title with a 20-1 victory on Sunday afternoon.
Thank you for that,
Congratulations
Gary.
to
And
all.
that's it for our
April?
show tonight. Before we go, I would like to take the opportunity to let our viewers know that today is my last day anchoring the news. I will be taking on a more behind-the-scenes role here in News 2. It has been an incredible honor to be able to present the news to you, and I thank you wholeheartedly for inviting us into your home. Joining you on Wednesday will be Leslie Commission, who is no stranger to you, a highly capable, intelligent Virgin Islander who is passionate about local news and current events. Plus, we still have the same team of wonderful Virgin Islanders working very hard to bring you the news. You're in good hands. And that's it for our show tonight. We'll see you Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 7 p.m. and 11 p.m., Facebook, YouTube, and via Channel 4 and 504. Thanks again for joining us on News 2. I'm April Knight. We'll see you next time.